Welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. And this story, guys, this is a great success story, a great way to end the week. And this is all about a guy who makes a major comeback in his life after making plenty of mistakes with women, all the mistakes that many of you guys have made or are making right now, mistakes that I've made when I was younger. And he has learned the hard way, and now he's in a place he's doing really well for himself. He's taken those mistakes, and he has then learned and moved on. That's all you can do, guys. I tell you all the time that, if you're trying to improve yourself and have success, you're not going to have success without making mistakes along the way. But if you find a way to learn from them, then it's not all bad, okay? Because I know a lot of you guys are watching me and you're in a place that you don't want to be. You want to be someplace else depending on your goals and things like that. And you can get there. But understand you're going to mess up along the way. All great success stories, professional athletes, musicians, businessmen, whatever, they've all made mistakes, but they learned from them and kept going. So you can do it too and get to a place where you want to be just like this guy. So I'm going to jump right into it. He says, to SSM, hey man, I've watched your content for quite some time, as well as many other channels. And you yourself and those other channels helped change my life. And let me tell you how. Well, brother, I'm delighted to hear that it's helped change your life. That is what I'm trying to do, to help guys out. And again, thank you for your support. He says, like most young guys, when I started out, I was blue-pilled. When I joined the military, I had a few relationships. One, I started out by going to a nice seafood restaurant and bought dinner for everyone, my date and her friends as well. I know, slap, but it gets worse. Yeah, dude, you went on a date and you as well, actually, it wasn't a date. If you were going out with her and her friends were along, that's not really a date. That's her just bringing her friends along, thinking that this dumbass is going to pay for us all, and look what happened, right? But classic nice guy behavior. Oh, I'll pay for you and your friends, no problem. You'll see how much of a great guy I am, and of course you'll want me. Well, it doesn't work out that way, does it? Okay, never do that, guys. If you're in a situation for you guys that date and do relationships and all that, and you ask a girl out, and you should meet her for one drink, I might add, and she wants to bring along her friends, no, cancel it, that's it. I don't care how hot she is, I don't care how much you think you got a shot with her, don't ever do that. She'll lose all respect for you. That's a test, by the way, to see what she can get away with if you're actually foolish enough to pay for her and her friends. But this guy, he knows he messed up, so learn from his mistakes. He says, over the course of a year, he says, it gets worse. Over the course of the year that I won't get back, we had relations 2 times, which was in the first month, and I bought her flowers every Sunday. Aw, right out of the movies, bringing her flowers every Sunday. And you were dating a year, and you only hooked up twice? Dude, trust me. She was getting it someplace else. Except you were showing up every Sunday giving her flowers. That's some Forrest Gump shit, showing up at the house with flowers. Did you have a box of chocolates too? I'm messing with you, dude, but I couldn't resist. But seriously, twice in a year, hooking up, and then you're buying her flowers and taking her and her friends out? No. She gave you just enough to keep you coming back and giving her things. That's what happened there. And that's what many of them do. You can't do that, guys. He says, that happened until the breakup. He says, I followed the Disney bullshit, and when she eventually dumped me, I was confused. When he talks about the Disney bullshit, I often say, like so many guys, they see these movies, the Hallmark Channel movies, these movies put out by Disney or Hollywood about guys acting a certain way, basically kissing the girl's butt, putting her on a pedestal, all that, and of course they get the girl, right? Or at the least they get her in the end, but in reality that you do that stuff and you get friend zoned or just taken advantage of. So don't believe what you see in the movies, guys. It says, later on I eventually saw this one chick and we went to her place. He says, I was drinking and she wanted to have relations. It sounds weird and you and your subscribers might disapprove, but that night I just didn't want to have you know what. Dude, who cares what I think or my viewers, okay? If at that moment you didn't want to hook up for whatever reason, you didn't want to do it, fine, that's your business, okay? As I tell you guys, no apologies. You do what works best for you. You do what's best for yourself, okay? And you may annoy people along the way or piss them off, but you got to do what's best for you. So if you didn't want to hook up with her that night, I'm sure you had your reason. He said, no means no, but I guess it doesn't apply to chicks. Well, I drank too much and ended up passing out. The last thing I remember is that we were laying in bed and she was watching Netflix on her computer. When I woke up, something felt off. Don't know how you would want to phrase it for YouTube, but that feeling of dried, you know what, down south. If you had you know what and didn't take a shower to wash it off, you're you know what. Speaking a lot of code here, guys. You guys can figure out what I'm trying to say. I, of course, lost my shit. She was already up, and I point blank asked her, "Did you F me last night?" She laughed and didn't say anything. I then raised my voice, furious, and asked her again, "Did you F me last night?" She said no, and I stormed out of that place and went back to take a shower. The feeling of disgust they talk about is real. Honestly, it follows me to this day. So in other words, he passed out drunk, and at some point she got off watching her Netflix on her computer and had her fun with him. Now, what would happen if the situation was reversed? What would happen if she passed out and he did his dirty deed, right? That's called jail time, or depending on if she makes an issue of it. But if it happens to a guy, hey, no big deal, you know. Now, I know all you're thinking, like, well, hey, if she was hot, then who cares? But you see my point here, right? But you know what? And let me just say this. He doesn't mention, like, she was drunk or anything, and that's the reason why he didn't want to hook up. But, you know, guys, if you are dating and whether it's your girlfriend or it's somebody new and she's trashed, I would advise not doing anything beyond that point, because who knows what could happen in terms of the complaints department and what could go against you because she was trashed. It's just not worth it. I don't care how hot she is. Wait until she's sober. This story continues. A year later, I got married. Slap. When he says slap, I often say slap when guys do boneheaded things. Again, believing this Disney bullshit, I thought I had found the one. Well, she made it 6 months and she eventually cheated. 6 months. Not that I'm going to excuse her behavior, but I have to say, to be fair here, to help you guys learn, that as you know in the beginning of the story with him with the girl before, he was taken out and buying her and her friends meals and drinks and all that stuff, and giving this girl flowers every Sunday. This guy, his actions weren't helping him. Okay, so it is any wonder that he got married because he thought he found the one, which is a bunch of, again, TV, movie, Disney, Hallmark nonsense. Almost 8 billion people on the planet. Believe me, there's more than just one person that you could have a good thing with, which, by the way, he didn't have a good thing with, because 6 months into the marriage, she was cheating on him, probably before that. But, you know, his actions obviously caused a lot of these women to attract these type of women into his life and take advantage of him. Okay, I'm not doesn't justify the woman's action, but if you never look at the situation, guys, and say areas that guys are messing up, how is a guy ever going to learn? How is a guy ever going to improve himself? Some guys come on here and get bent out of shape because I will call guys on their mistakes, and it's like, how are you going to learn if I don't say something? How do I learn if you don't get that critiqued, right? Because you don't want to keep making the same mistakes again and again. Anyhow, after 6 months, she cheated. How nice. He says, for context, the guy of hers came over to my house one day. I opened the door to find him and his wife standing there. Well, that's probably very awkward. He's sobbing and his wife demands that he tell me what he did. This guy is there crying at the door and his wife is barking at him, telling him what to do. This guy is, talk about a little bitch. But you know what? He is a bitch if he's cheating with another man's wife. Okay, that shows his true character. He starts to go into detail, and I stop him. I tell him to leave, and anything he wants to tell me, he can text me. So he does, and after that, I go to my best friend's house and give him my weapon. Again, you literally can't say certain words on YouTube. You can figure out what I'm talking about. So I don't do anything stupid. Always, he says this in capital letters, always have bros. He saved my life. Absolutely. The next day, I come back to the house, and when she walks through the door, his wife, she immediately goes to the kitchen and grabs a knife and tries to lock herself in the bathroom. I get it from her and call the paramedics and the cops. After that F-fest, she gets sent to the loony bin. After all this stuff, I still want to make my marriage work because I feel that if I don't, I'm a failure. Dude, that's not true. You're not a failure. She's the one who's the failure. Yes, obviously you made mistakes that led to eventually these actions, but those mistakes weren't you being a bad person. It's just you were being a very too nice. okay, too giving, too, again, as I say all the time, in a perfect world, you could do all these gestures like give your girl flowers every Sunday and buy her things and all that. In a perfect world, and it would be reciprocated with her loyalty and her affection and her support and all that. Unfortunately, doing things like that immediately is perceived as weakness, and they lose respect for you. I mean, it's absolute madness, but it is what it is, okay? There's no bullshit on this channel. I'm telling you how it is, guys. So you can't do that stuff. I'm not saying you got to be walking around being a jerk to your lady, but you can't do these things that this guy did here, or things I talk about in other videos, and also you got to stand your ground and do what you want to do and put yourself first. But the marriage failing, at the end of the day, it's on her. And it doesn't make you a loser because it didn't work out. Because guess what? Over 60% of marriages fail, at least here in the West. So, get in line. Anyhow, I know now that I'm not a failure, but that's what I truly thought then. Well, she eventually leaves me, and that's when I start learning about your type of content. Well, dude, I'm sure it hurt that whole time. I'm sure you felt like your heart was being ripped out and her leaving and all. But honestly, as I'm sure you can look back now, that was the best thing that ever happened to you. I'm sure you look back and, yeah, you probably feel like your heart skipped a beat thinking about what you went through then. But you're kicking back now with a big smile on your face saying, man, that could have been my whole life being with her. And she could have been cheating on me left and right for a decade, and I never knew. So, look back, you can connect the dots and see these things as a blessing if you handle them the right way. He says, after immersing himself and learning a lot about the content that I do in other channels, he says, it was a complete 180 for me, and now I sleep with women all the time. I'm upfront with them, and I think they think it's a game for them to get me into a relationship, which I don't give them because I'm on my purpose. I'm currently a pre-med using the GI Bill, and life is amazing without the hassle of women. Awesome. Good job, dude. Complete 180. And notice how he mentions here that he hooks up with women all the time, and it's like he says he feels like it's a game to them trying to get him into a relationship. Translation, he's not asking for relationships. He sure as hell is not showing up with them flowers on Sunday. He's making them chase him. And that's the position you want to be in, okay? Because women love a challenge, okay? The guys that just so easily jump into relationships with him after just a few dates and do all the things that he was doing before, that's not a challenge. But the guys that they have to work to get, the guys that they have to plot and scheme so they can try to see them more than once a week and have to always wonder how much he likes them, is he thinking about him, is he dating other women? It makes him crazy. I mean, that sounds insane, and this guy's on cloud 9 now. And you think he's going to go back to the way he was before after what he learned and what he's experiencing now? Hell no. So you all can learn from this guy what he learned by screwing up and how he's handling his life now. And he's on his purpose. The girls come dead last to his purpose. Always. It must be that way, guys. He goes on, the golden rule is women should complement your life, not be the focus. Absolutely. I tell you that all the time. Nice guys make girls and relationships their purpose. Bad boys or successful guys make their goals and ambitions their purpose, and women come dead last in the order of importance. It has to be that way, guys. If you do the opposite, that's typical nice guy behavior, and you're going to end up being mistreated like this dude. On the other hand, you make your ambitions and goals your number one priority. Watch what happens with women. Now, this is, of course, for you guys that actually want to have women in your life. Okay, for all you guys that are at a point saying, that's it, I'm done, I'm tired of this BS, then okay. He says here, follow your passions and always put yourself first. Yes. Oh, and she's expecting, now he goes on, quick little mention about his ex-wife. He says, and for her, she's expecting a child with a friend, and he thinks that she won't do what she did to me, but we'll see what karma says to the both of them. Yes, his ex-wife, who was cheating on him after 6 months, probably before that, mark my words, once a cheater, always a cheater. She'll be cheating on this dude. Because this is the same guy that came to the door with his wife, sobbing and crying because she bossed him around to come admit what he did. Does that sound like a masculine man to you? No. So she'll be cheating on this guy. So the karma will be on him for knowingly hooking up with his wife. And she's now having his baby and I have to deal with that. So ha. And this guy's free as a bird. It says, anyway, I hope the subscribers can resonate with my story, and if they can get anything out of this, it is the following. Number 1, coffee or drinks, no effing dinner. What he means is, on the first date, or first few dates, meet up for coffee, meet up for a quick drink, nothing more. None of this elaborate, fancy dinners and all that. There are guys that think that they meet a girl, she actually agrees to go out with them, they got to impress her. They got to take her to the fanciest restaurant in the city and spend hundreds of dollars of their hard-earned money to get her to like them. And a lot of women will go out, they're called, I think, foodie dates, or I don't know what the hell it is, I forget now. I got no sleep last night, I really can't think here. Foodie calls, that's it, that's what it's called. They'll go out with a guy just to go out and get a free meal. Okay, and they know darn well they don't like him, but it's better than being at home on a Friday or Saturday night and watching, reruns of Friends and Law and Order. So they're going to go out and use a guy, okay? And the guy thinks, I got her. No, one drink, or a couple drinks at best, or a coffee if you don't drink alcohol. Number 2, always put yourself first in whatever you're doing. Yes, do what's best for you. You must, guys. Absolutely. Both in life in terms of your own personal goals and especially with women. If you then put them first and their needs, typical nice guy behavior, and you'll be walked all over. If you don't believe me, if you think I'm being harsh and cruel, keep doing that. Keep putting everybody else first and see how happy you are. Number 3, don't effing get married. Not in 2021, boys. Also, please don't use my name. I don't want Medusa to come back to haunt me. Your secret's safe with me, bro. Nobody's going to know your name. If you have any questions or want me to clarify anything, just send me an email and I'll give you more context. Thanks, SSM. Well, bro, you're welcome. And thank you for being awesome, and thank you for getting your life together and sharing your story with me to help other guys. And by the way, guys, any watching this right now, if you got a story like this, a great comeback story or something you need help with, email me, okay? I get emails all the time, and I do my best to respond. I do my best to read them all. Most of them will not become videos because I just get too many, and I try to pick the best ones. But sometimes I'll read an email. I may have done a video similar to that. I'll save it and come back to it a few months later to have variety. But share your story, guys. My email is at the link in the About section of this channel. I've been getting tons this week. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the 4th of July and you all are motivated to send me emails about your stories. Keep them coming. Also, keep the articles, the great articles and the great stories coming. Makes my job easier, and I have good content, and I can help you guys both in terms of news as well as good entertainment. But anyhow, great job for this guy. I'm really proud of him. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.